Here.
Mr. Jones.
Here.
Mr. White.
Here.
Mr. Bonner.
Here.
Supervisor Finley.
Here. Okay, public input. Public input first up, we have Kerry Luzon. Am I saying that correct?
Yes.
Kerry Luzon.
Is where speaking to? Okay.
Yes, you can move the mic down so we have it on the record. Just state your name if you would also.
Okay, my name is Carrie Luzon. I'm a teacher in the North Rockland School District. I'm also a resident in the town of Stony Point. I know Mr. Finn, a letter was brought to your attention today.
I knew I recognized that name.
Yes, and I'm not sure why it just got to you, well, I know why it got to you today, because I called, but I actually hand-delivered it to Town Hall in January, so I know this is rushed, and I really appreciate you guys discussing it tonight. We're looking for support for our students' participation in the Scripps National Spelling Bee. I kind of overheard a little bit of discussion, and I know you were questioning, don't we have to go to a regional bee first? Well, our district bee is actually taking the place of the regional bee. In the past, we used to fall under the sponsorship of the Northern New Jersey Regional Spelling Bee. They dropped Rockland County this year, so we find ourselves without a sponsorship. Our students have been so successful in this in the past. We actually swept the Northern New Jersey Regional Spelling Bee last year.
Might be one of the reasons why you got dropped.
Our North Rockland students came in first, second, and third. So this is a really big deal to us, and this is a successful endeavor that our students have participated in the past. And our North Rockland student actually came in 33rd last year in the National Spelling Bee. Thank you for your consideration.
We are going to add this,
support.
not to interrupt, but we're going to add this to an agenda item. It will be the first agenda item after we do
Great.
public input. And just a story, I remember sitting watching on ESPN, I don't remember who it was, but it was I believe it was a girl in one of my son's classes. And that's going back a few years ago, I thought.
She was there last year, she was the year before, and the year before that.
So we're very proud to have a great deal like go that far, so I don't think it's going to be a problem here tonight, but we do have to vote on it.
Thank you, and my contact information is there. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So do we have students that, because we don't have a regional or a district level B, they're going to the national?
We do have we don't have the regional B anymore, so our district B is taking the place of the regional B.
And this is the district?
That is the district B. On February 24th, we'll be having our district-wide B. We've already held school-wide spelling bees, so we have our finalists. So we're guaranteed to send a student to Washington, and we cannot go to Washington without a sponsorship. This $3,250 that we have to raise isn't fluff. It isn't to make their week more fun. This is a requirement.
How many students are covered by the 3250?
One student and a chaperone, which Scripps dictates that it really needs to be a parent.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
And thank you for clearing that up, because we did have some questions about it. It's nice to have you here. We appreciate you coming. Next, we have Mark Johnson. Not the Mark Johnson from the 1980 Olympic team.
No, not the same one. There are a lot of us out there. Mark Johnson, 205 Battalion Drive. Last time I had a pair of skates on, did more damage to my knees than the ice. I wanted to say thank you. I'm not sure that anybody has for the event back in early January that Supervisor Finn and the council helped coordinate with TRI and MDE concerning the gasification plant. I thought it was a good event. I thought there was a great turnout. And I thought somebody should say thank you for that event.
Well, we all appreciate that, and we thank everyone for coming out. And we had over 300 people there, as you know, and we were there. And it was a very interesting night, and I'm going to talk to my supervisor's address a little more about that.
Good, thank you. I've been following the MPE website that was introduced that night and the town site, and I've seen no signs of answers to any of the questions that were not addressed that night, or no publication of those that were for people who were not there. And so I'm wondering if you had any further information or contact with TRI and MPE, or have a sense of what the timeline might look like moving forward, just so we begin to get a sense. And I'm wondering if there might be time from meeting to meeting where we just begin to clarify what an open and transparent process looks like, what our shared expectations are. I want to thank you again for the evening and just hear if we've heard anything more or what our expectations should be moving forward.
And I promise to discuss that as soon as I get to my supervisor report, okay? Anthony Liccardi. Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, thank you. Anthony and Rose Liccardi, 15 Skinner Court, Conference Court, New York. 30 years this July living here. Had a situation over the last 2 weeks, 2 mailboxes being knocked down by the pop. My original one went down. I went to I voted for this man. He's a nice guy, Larry. I'm not trying to derogate him in any way. And one of the fellows there told me, we have mailboxes. We'll give you one because this happens. And I explained to him, I have a 2-foot stump in the ground, that's cemented in the ground. Luckily, that wasn't ripped out of the ground. I just picked up another one, bolted on myself. So I went and did it Sunday. Monday morning, here comes a file, takes the next mailbox off. That's 2 mailboxes. So I went and got another one, put it on. I gave Larry the 2 receipts, and I got a phone call back from him this afternoon saying, the state says we can only pay for one. I'd like that to be explained to me. What does the state have to do with the guy knocking over 2 of my mailboxes?
I think the answer, Mr. Briss, I'll give that to Mr. Briss because I can't answer that myself.
State says we don't have to replace the mailbox. It's not our job.
I could throw it at 5%.
We replace them with regular mailboxes. You wanted a special one, that's fine. But I can't pay for 2 mailboxes. I'll pay for one, I'm not going to pay for 2. You don't have to pay for that. You do it. Courtesy.
I do know that is state law. That is state law that the town doesn't have to, or the county, or the state, or wherever it's doing it, whether it be IW or any other street. But as a courtesy, the town's 20 Point is always replace the mailbox with the basic mailbox, I guess. I mean, I don't know what kind you had, so. I actually drove by your house last night looking for it, but I think you put it up again last night.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so. But that being said, Mr. Brisson was very upset about this. Yesterday morning he was in my office with
I stopped to see
more
more
men.
about it.
So we were discussing this and coming up with ideas on how to avoid this in the future. It's a shame that twice in a week or within 2 weeks that you've lost 2 mailboxes. Unfortunately, usually when we have a heavy snow, I can see it. Unfortunately, we don't know what happened. We're talking to the driver. It happens often. It's not just
It's a
there.
new driver, the old guy retired, and obviously this guy, he's not that good at what he's doing.
Well,
It never happened in 30 years, but it happened twice in a week.
It's definitely a concern. We're going to be talking, I know Mr. Brisson is always on top of his drivers. I don't want to say he doesn't know what he's doing, because I don't think that's the case.
Nope.
Mistakes do happen, and unfortunately it happened to you twice. But we are working on it. It's not forgotten, and if we could do something, I don't know, I do know the law is that we don't have to pay for them, but Mr. Brisson is offering to pay for the 1 mailbox. That's it, the mailbox that we normally put on, is what you're saying?
Well, he went and bought it already, so I'll pay for
Yeah,
it.
the mailbox you would want to put on is impossible because I had to stump 2 feet coming out of the ground with cement. How you did that, you'd have to replace a post. You'd be there with a machine ripping up the ground. That wouldn't happen until April. And here I am running back and forth to the post office getting my mail every day. I mean, I just totally don't think it's fair that 2 mailboxes get knocked out. That's just the way it is.
Excuse me, sir, what was the cost of the mailbox?
One is $63. As a matter of fact, the second one I bought is not the same one. It has no newspaper hanger on the bottom. It was the only one I could get that had left. And that's the one I put in. So we're talking 63 for one and about 50 for the other. I don't mind putting them on myself. I don't want to inconvenience them, and, but it's just a question of, I thought it was fair that somebody, take the money.
Mr. Liccardi, right? Yeah. Mr. Liccardi, if you could just give us a few days, we are still in discussions about this with Foreman and Superintendent Brissing about the project, and we're going to be speaking to and getting the exact information. So if you could just give us a few days, we're not going to sit here and say we're not paying for it, but we can certainly work on it and hopefully come to some kind of agreement, okay?
I do appreciate it.
All right,
Thank you.
And I don't want to say this in a bad way, but when you went to look for that mailbox, you know why they're not finding it anymore? Because this is happening. Because it's happening all over. It's a shame, but it is happening all over. But we'll make sure that we'll come to some kind of conclusion and we're all happy.
I do appreciate that.
No problem. Thank you. George Botanovic?
town board has decided to continue the sign law public hearing at the next town board meeting, which is next Tuesday, February 28th. And I'd like to, this has been on the agenda now for quite some time, I think at least maybe a few months, where there was little or no activity for a while. And so I think anyone who might have been interested in it will have long since probably forgotten that was on the agenda. So I'm here tonight asking that the town board, in the interest of public information, make some effort to send out a press release or to renew some kind of a notice to the public that there will be a public hearing on the sign law revisions and that there are changes that have been proposed by the town so that people will be aware that it is on the agenda for the next public hearing, February 28th. Thank you.
Thank you, George. I don't see why we can't, we're going to be actually setting a public hearing for the 24th, which is next week on our agenda for the waterfront, so I don't see a reason why we can't add that in there as well. Clerk, you believe that's right? Okay. Thank you. And then we have, and then on here, where's Joe? Alice, I'm not even going to try the last name, because I can't read the writing.
It's Elise, it's okay, it's lovely.
What is it?
Elise Ingram, actually.
Elise Abram?
Elise Ingram.
Just state that into the mic so they have it for the record.
It's Elise Ingram, actually. I just wanted to thank you, Supervisor Finn. I called your office today regarding an 80-year-old woman in Stony Point who had no power in her house for 2 days. And our oil company wasn't ready to put her on. They weren't even thinking of driving up there. And your office got involved immediately and took care of my client. I just wanted to thank you and your office for that.
I'd love to sit here and take the credit, but it must have been my assistant.
It was Bernadette.
Okay, great. So she'll be very happy to hear that. Because I would love to sit here and take the credit, but I'm sure she's going to watch in that video over there if I take the credit for it. But we have a great staff in the town hall every day that does this kind of work, and it's nice to hear the thanks. So we really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm glad it all worked out.
Thank you.
Okay. That is in a public hearing, public input, I'm sorry. I'll read this as, I was going to save it from my, I'm not going to save it, but I just got a text. Tickets for Dancing with the Teachers go on sale, 2/11, if you want to go. That's North Rockland. Shows at 2:27 and 2:28. See that? On the minute, business is coming. Okay. I'll tell you more about it, I don't know. Okay. Purchase order requests. I believe they're going through here. I know there was some discussions, but I think we've answered them all. Okay.
Just, didn't we already vote on the carpet for the senior room?
We voted on it as an agenda item, but it still has to go through when we're purchasing it.
Oh, okay.
And we are waiting, we're purchasing it now. We're about 3 weeks away from our final restrooms being done. So we don't want to put anything on hold, obviously. They're complete, it's a mess over there right now.
I'll second the
But
motion.
yes. Okay, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. What are the bills?
Make a motion to accept the bills as submitted.
Thank you, Mr. White. There's been a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Minutes, there's no minutes. The supervisor's report. I'll just talk about a few things. We have our 6th annual blood drive sponsored by the Stony Point PBA. I don't know if you talk about that, but I'm going to be into it. In love memory of Jimmy McNicholas in the Road Building, Patriot Hills, 3 to 9 o'clock on February 23rd. That's a Monday. Jimmy was born and raised in Barneville and attended St. Gregory's, Albertus Magnus, and RCC. He was a son, a brother, an uncle, and a friend until he was killed by a hit-and-run driver in Pearl River on May 31st, 2009. Let's not forget this kind of Rockland man whose killer has still not been found. Join us as we honor Jimmy's love of life by saving the lives of others in need through blood donations, that some good may come of this awful tragedy. So anyone wants information on that, this is on our website as well, I believe. If, matter of fact, I know it is. And we'll have copies available if anybody needs it.
They're already.
Oh, there you go. Stony Point Movie and Rec Day is February 17th. That is at 9:30, drop off at Kirkbride, and the bus is leaving for the theater at 10 a.m. This is when school is out, and if you need information on this, it's 947-5261, and that is our recreation department. So a good thing to do while the kids are off. And I just wanted to talk about 2 articles I cut out today out of the newspaper. One, because I received a lot of phone calls and questions about this was in the assuming the Journal is today, I read the Daily also. Final property tax rebate checks in the mail. That's what it's telling me. I've been telling people since, early November, that they're out there, they're coming, they're coming, they're coming. I didn't get it either, but a lot of people have received it already, but final property tax rebate checks in the mail. So we have to call the state now, because they've already promised us so many times. Susan, you're gonna like this one. Senators want more input on pipeline project. Gillibrand and Schumer what's that? Yeah, so this was in today's paper as well, so it's funny how they waited until after the comment period. And you know my position on this, so I'm not saying, listen, I could say, oh, forget it. But I would be more interested in knowing where they were when we were looking for help on Chippy. And it's very, I know that's a sore subject for Susan, but, to come out a year after, on this, a year after the public input and everything else, they can't really do it. They wanted to talk about it, but it would have been nice to have them here protecting us with Chippy as well. So I just thought that was interesting.
Can I just add to your sin?
I will let you add to the scene because you were not here for public input. Go ahead. Yeah, I will, I said.
Sorry.
Because you weren't here, and that's fair. You're here every meeting, and wouldn't be the same without you.
Susan Claris, 87 Montfront Road. I'm sorry, I was taking care of family business. To answer the Gillibrand and Senator Schumer, it's very nice to see that they can say something, when in fact, all of the public comment period is closed. Their input has no value to any of us as a community because legally, it's finished. So maybe when we vote next time, we seriously need to consider what lever we're pushing when we vote for our United States senators. Done with that subject, but I really seriously think we ought to start voting the way we're taken care of. The next is, we have had 2 meetings of the, who can say it, Cheryl, that committee. Happy birthday to Stony Point. Frank Collier has designed, I've been sending it out to the committee, I'll send it to the supervisor if he wants to put it out there, he can. It's a bang up logo, but it has to be finalized, so we'll send it to the committee chair, Mr. Vasili. The theme of what we're doing for our 150th year is we know from whence we came, we know where we're standing, but where are we going to go? We need to support each other and pay it forward. And that's the way we're going to celebrate our 150th birthday. We are going to become part of the community and the events that are going. The fire people persons, as I call them, very generously invited the committee to be part of Wayne Day. I haven't figured it out yet, they're going to tell us, but we're going to be there and we're going to add. We need to speak to the PBA guys who did that beautiful thing this summer. I know one of the committee, but we haven't gotten together. We are, and I'm very excited about this, so I'm going to try not to get too excited. We are going to host on May 4th, co-host with the Havaser Arts and Alliance, the United States Air Force Band at the North Rockland High School. It's very appropriate considering that we fought one of the decisive battles of the American Revolution. And we believe, the young man Michael from the Lighthouse believes that there may be a fife and drum number that is specific to Stony Point. So we've sent him off to see if he can find that number so we can give it to we'll surprise them, the Air Force guys, and see if they'll play it for the infantry. But we're going to do that. We are working on, it may not happen this year, but we're going to try a geo-hashing, I think it's called, type of scavenger hunt. So Karen Ann she's gone, but Karen Ann and Jennifer Lima are in charge of that. I don't want to put you on the spot, Jim, but we may get a 5K in this year. I'm hoping Jim Monahan, our council person, can get that going. Our town clerk's wonderful church is celebrating, I may add a year or two, not to Jonah, 180-year birthday. And they have graciously said that they will do some tours of the church with their history and the cemetery, which is really the founding families of Stony Point. So basically, what we're looking to do is tell the community we're here. We want to be part of you. It has to be all finalized and approved by those 5 gentlemen sitting up there. But we're moving along. Anyone who wants to come to the meeting on Thursday at 6 o'clock here in the Row Building, we'll be meeting again. Now, the Lighthouse has committed to doing something. They're not sure what yet, but we're going to work it out. And Jeff, I have a question. Do we have a charter? Do we have a physical copy of the charter of the town of Stony Point?
Joan would know that better than I would.
It's transcribed from the minutes.
Okay.
So that's a yes.
Oh, great. Can we get one of those? So there's other things coming and going. We've spoken to Mr. Schassler. The winter has been very hard on our seniors, so we're hoping this snow goes away sometime soon so they can come out and participate. But again, anybody who would like to join is more than welcome. And we do have hopes that we will, and we believe we're going to, or Mr. Javanez is going to find a hole to bury me in, finish the Vineyard School so we can open it and celebrate ourselves as well. We've just hit a little bit of a stumbling block, but we believe we're going to keep moving right on through that as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Okay, just to finish my report, 2 things. New Plan Mr. Johnson is still here. I had a brief meeting the other day with members from New Plan Energy in my office. They stopped by after a meeting up in DEC with DEC, and they came home very excited about it and thought it went well. So they are moving forward. They do not have a date set yet for the first public hearing. However, we have been told that we can pretty much go out and start answering all the questions that people have. We were kind of not avoiding it, but allowing DEC, they're going to be the lead agency in this, so we had to be very careful what we said. But going forward, yes, all intentions right now, they're probably putting it together to get it out on the website, the answers to all the questions that were asked. And going forward, we're going to try and work and form some kind of committee or something that's going to help communication between the townspeople, when I say the town board, townspeople, and New Plan Energy itself. We want to be part of this, but we don't want anyone to think that this town board or anyone else is pushing and something on people. We think it's a great idea. We think it's great rateable. We think it can work for this community, but we want the community to be involved in this, and we're going to be working very close with everyone involved. So DEC is giving us, I don't want to say permission, but allowing New Plan Energy to go out and start answering these questions, and that's the only reason we were holding up. We didn't want to interfere with what they were going to be doing in their public hearings. Okay? And also, I wanted to congratulate the Polar Point, the Stony Point Seals, who had a great showing on Super Bowl Sunday. There was over 300 people that jumped into the water. And I don't have a number yet, but I know they raised quite a bit of money. I know last year was over 40,000. The year before that was almost 60,000. So we're hoping for somewhere in the middle of that. I think their goal was 50 this year. But again, we'll have a number probably hopefully by next meeting. And they just do a great job every year, so our hats off to them and everyone involved, whether it be our highway department, our parks department, all of our volunteers, our volunteer fire department, our ambulance. I believe the firehouse puts about 7 or 8 divers out into the water to make sure. And they actually, their first job this year was to push icebergs away so people could get into the water. That's how cold it really was. But a great job, police department. I don't want to forget anybody, but everyone that was involved, just such a great job, and we thank them. And on a very good note, normally we would close meetings in honors of people that have passed away that are close to the town. However, tonight, and this is the second one in 2 months, we have a 100-year birthday. It was February 1st. Mr. Severio James Martello turned 100 on February 1st, so we were going to be closing this meeting in his honor for celebrating his 100-year anniversary. We tried to get him here, but just with the weather and everything else, he couldn't make it. But I will be sending this in the mail. I know we did send him a birthday card as well. So congratulations, happy birthday to Mr. Martello. And just a reminder that we will be closing tonight's meeting in his honor. I believe that is it. And there is a few things that we're going to be, there's 2 items that we're going to be adding, so I'll do them first when we get to it. One of them being the school stuff. Okay, police department report, Chief Moore.
Thank you,
Supervisor, members of the town board. You have before you the monthly report for the month of January 2015. Number of calls for service was 752. Number of reported accidents were 30. Number of arrests were way up, 93. 44 felonies, 33 misdemeanors, 16 violations. A lot of drug arrests all month and right through to February. Again, it's still continuing. Fuel usage 1,487.1. 196 traffic enforcement summonses, 6 youth officer sponsored events. We had 2 Explorer meetings, a PAL meeting. We held 2 recreation nights up at Kirkbride, 1 youth corps training session, and we continue to do our regular checks of schools for their safety. We had 2 child safety seat installations. We ran 1 commercial vehicle enforcement detail. We had 112 hours of training, and the total fees collected was $119.25. Sit on the police report. Time record.
Motion to accept Chief's time record.
Second motion.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And that's signed, Chief. Here's enough.
Thank you. Okay, you should also have the department overtime report and sick leave reports.
It's so nice to look at it early in the year, beginning of the year. That big number right now.
I thought it was the color black they like versus the color red.
I'll make a motion to accept the overtime and sick leave reports.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The next item up is the National New York Tactical and Crisis Negotiations conferences held up in Verona, New York. This is out of my training budget. This is sending 2 officers up to Verona, New York to attend the conference. The fee for the conference and the hotel is being paid out of our, by the County of Rockland, out of our assessment fee for the REACT team. I'm going to send 2 of our crisis negotiators up there. So the cost to us is the per diem for meals and just the use of the car and fuel. Estimate that at $270 for the 2.
Excellent. Make a motion to send.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The next item is the Commercial Vehicle Safety Alliance training. What this is we run a commercial vehicle enforcement unit. We've had a number of people over the years, probably about 2 decades in. One of the last ones in the county. They're still running it with the state, and this is a federal program. So we would put the officer, brand new officer in for what's called level 1 training. There's part A and part B. Normally we have to send them up to the Massachusetts State Police Academy. However, in our discussions with New York State DOT, they're actually hosting one in Albany at the State Police Academy. So the first one is part A. That's the March 9th through the 13th. If he's successful on those days, then he would be allowed to go to part B, which was the April 13th through the 17th. All of the training would be at the State Police Academy. So the training is free. So we have the cost of the meals and the hotels for 5 nights in Albany. So it's $775 for the week, all inclusive for that per week that would be. And again, this is all out of my training budget.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, the next item is for the supervisor for his signature. This is an annual contract for reimbursement for stop DUI enforcement. the town of Stony Point, the county of Rockland. Our share this year will be $3,078.88. This will allow the supervisor to enter into this agreement to receive reimbursement every time we run a DWI detail.
Excellent. You need a motion for that, right? I'll make a motion to sign the contract. Well, if someone really should, I'll sign it.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, there's a motion.
Second.
And a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Get your- put it on there, too. 1, 2. Okay? Yes. Thank you, Chief. I believe that's all you have, right?
Yes, I just have an item for executive session
Yes.
for you, that's all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Before I go further, I actually forgot to mention something about in my supervisory report. I was reminded when I heard the phone ringing that we had a big congratulations that day also. There's a couple in the room today that celebrated their 50th anniversary together on Super Bowl Sunday. And I see them sitting in the back of the room there. It's June and Doug Johnson, so great congratulations. And I would have forgotten if your phone wasn't going off back here. But congratulations. Okay. Golf course report, Dave. Well, there's not much going on. Not much going on the golf course. I know that right now with like 2 feet of snow on it. But I know Joe's here because there's a few things on the agenda. Department reports have all been handed in, I'm assuming, and no correspondence. No correspondence. Okay. The public hearing, as you can see, is the 28th. So that's well, yeah, that's the 24th, I should say. That's all we had to do was go out, put a nice press release out, and put the wrong date. A few minutes. But 24th, we got it. Okay, and before I get into number one, I'm going to do the added items that I want to add. I just don't want to forget them. So we're going to do the one first. Find it. It's here. I got it. There we go. Yeah, thank you. Okay, there's a request from the North Rockland School District, and we heard from Ms. Luzon tonight, still here, and requesting, this is, as you heard, I don't have to give too much information about it because we just got it, but a great thing for young children to go out and represent North Rockland. We're very proud to do this, so make a motion to donate a total of $500 to the North Rockland Central School District for this event.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much for coming and explaining. We wish we could give you the whole thing, but
No,
you know, it's tough.
thank you. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you. We thank you.
Just go out and win.
Represent. You guys always do. Thank you. Okay. And the second add-on I would like to add is a motion. Joe, I'll give you the paperwork on that too. I have. This will be a motion. I would like to schedule a public hearing for the proposed zoning amendments to permit mixed-use developments in the PW zoning district for February 24th at 7 p.m. at our town board meeting. We'll be considering adopting the draft 3 EAF and negative deck at that meeting, and those documents will be made available on the town website by the end of this week. I will have that paperwork to you as well.
So moved.
Okay, there's been a motion.
Oh, the chapter.
Oh, did I? Second. Okay. All right. Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, and that is the only add-ons. It's going to be a public hearing, yes. It's a public hearing for the 24th at 7 o'clock. Regular town board meeting. Number one is our tax cert for Baymar. This is from the old owners in 2010, I believe this is. Am I correct, Mr. Back when I see our assessor here? For 1 year, a total of $2,479.41.
That's correct.
And that is for 1 year at 2010 only, the new owners. That's another battle that down the road we'll probably face because of a lot of damage that was done in Sandy. But this is for the year 2010 for a total of $2,479.41. I know the council gave us a resolution for that, so.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, there's been a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Number two is also a tax cert, and also from a previous owner. This is the Kennedy Trucking Facility that is now Capasso. This is for the year 2010 as well, for a total of $886.56 for the year 2010. Again, this is the prior owner to Mr. Capaccio, who owns it now. This has been recommended to us from our council and from our assessor as well.
So, second.
Okay, there's been a motion. Wait, motion.
Oh, second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 3 is, it's actually good news, number 3, New York, not the other one's on. New York Horizon Engineering Design, it's RFQ. I had a visit from New York Horizon this week, Mr. Blankenship, Bill Blankenship, and Lori DeBoard. Susan, you would remember Lori, of course, from the New York Horizon Committee, and they are coming, we were awarded $3 million to come and come up with ways on how to improve our waterfront and safer and build up, so God forbid another storm like Sandy comes in, that we don't have to go through what we've done, or the homeowners down there, business owners. So right now, we've come up with ideas and plans, and we're actually starting to move a little bit. We're looking to go out, and a lot of this work is done through the state, but they're taking the first project, which was Beach Road, where we removed 3 homes, and it was actually 5 taken down total on Beach Road, to improve that, and they come up with ways. So right now, with this request for qualifications was written by the state governor's office, or I can never remember the exact thing, GOSR, Governor's Office of Storm Recovery, which is New York Horizon, and we just have to go out to put this out for qualifications and have it returned by 4 p.m. on March 18, 2015. I know the town clerk has been in contact with each one. We sent all the information that we have to send, and hopefully we've actually set up bank accounts. A lot of people ask how this is going to be paid for, because the town can actually physically put this money to have these studies done and have this work done in the future. The answer is no to that. We have to open up our separate checking account, which we have done already, and a separate checking account. So the money, when this project right now, I'm guesstimating to be probably between $150,000 to $190,000 for the study and design itself, which is a start, and then after that we'll start the projects. However, we do not have to put that bill. It would be going into an account. When the bills come in, it comes through a non-interest bearing account, and it will go straight out. So it's good that we're not having to put this money. We were nervous about having to put, if we did a $3 million project, that we would have to go out and bond $3 million and hope that the state pays us back. As we all know, we're still waiting for some of our school checks to come back. So to wait for $3 million it's a large amount of money. So we're very happy that that's not going to happen. But right now, we're in the early stages, and we just have to go out for the RFQ for engineering design services. I'm told by the state and the governor's office that GOSR, that they will we'll probably have 15 to 20 different firms coming in looking for this. So it's good to have competition so we can get the best of the best.
Can we put all this documentation on the website under New York Rising so everybody can see the
We will
bids?
certainly have it, but we can't put it out until we pass it. We're going to absolutely.
All right, so I have a question. Have we been guaranteed the $3 million?
Yes, pretty much, yes. We've been awarded $3 million. Have
Right,
we received it yet? No, we have to do the studies, we have to do the...
because I know the state hired a contractor to come in and then facilitate a bunch of meetings. Then we had a really terrific job done by our local folks to identify projects. That went back to Albany. I'm just trying to get a sense of where we are. That went back to Albany, and now we're going to hire, the state is going to hire another firm to come in and do engineering specs.
No, what happened originally, we had a committee put together, Susan was part of it, it was probably 10 or 12 of us, or maybe a little more, and we came up with ideas and plans on things.
Which
So
I
right
see
now,
to
yes,
all.
but now how they're going to do it, this company's going to come in and say, okay, what we talked about is break wall, what do you call them, break walls. Also, a possibility of elevating Beach Road. There was 5 or 6 different ideas for that street itself. So now they're going to come up with an idea on how to do it at the prices they're going to come in and compete for this.
Okay, but who decides the actual strategy?
Yes.
Is that going to be the town, or are we delegating that to the state?
No. I can send the paperwork that we had to send up this week. We had to, there will be a committee formed of 5 to 6 people, is what I'm told. And again, a lot of this is not done through the town board or anything. I mean, well, we can put people on it, but Bill Blankenship, I don't know exactly his title, but Bill Blankenship is the guy who's going to run this. He's going to come down and sit with these committee meetings. And once we get these back on March 18th, we would go, this committee with Bill would go through it. There's actually a number system of how you're going to pick the best. I don't know how it is, but you can get a score of 100. The highest one will be the one that they're going to recommend we take. So there is a plan on how to do it. I don't have it in front of me, but there is paperwork, whether it be, I don't know, the quickness that can do it, or the availability, there's scores that you
I just
actually
want to make
get.
sure that, people show up to these meetings and our townspeople take this very seriously. And I just hope that this isn't, the state doling out taxpayer money to one contractor after another contractor after another contractor, and then ultimately, we're not getting our project.
Right.
Because the process has now gone on for quite some time. So, I have no problem with this, I just want to voice that. I hope that this is actually going somewhere. And this isn't going to be just, one of 10 other steps in which a lot of people make a lot of money off the taxpayer, but then ultimately, we're not getting what we need here.
Listen, I hear you, and I would certainly hope that they come through with us, but when I have money, when we have money in that non-interest bearing account is when I'll actually be very, very excited. I'm excited that this is finally starting to move in the right direction, but again, when I see the money, I don't want to say I'll believe it, but I'll be a lot more excited.
Something you may want to know that they